Gajananam Bhuta Ganati Sevitam Kapita Jambu Palasara Pakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinasha Karanam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sadashiva Samarambam Sankaracharya Madhyamam Asmat Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Welcome to SanGita program session 9. Today is a very auspicious day because it also coincides with Gita Jayanti Day. Now, Gita Jayanti will be celebrated on the Ekadashi day of Shukla Paksha of Margashirsha month. And today happens to be that auspicious day. And we are so fortunate in having the SanGita program on Gita Jayanti Day. So welcome again to everybody. And as usual, we will start with the review of last session. Some of you missed it, I know. And I would like to give you a quick account of that. And then we'll proceed with the session 9 today. Okay. Now, a quick review of session 8, where we continued chapter 2. Now, we studied verses 17 to 25, where we had seen Lord Krishna adopted a philosophical approach to explain the features of Atma to Arjuna. And he explained in brief about the main features, what we call as Chaitanya Rupam, the unseen Rupam of consciousness or Atma. And he pointed out that the Atma is Nityaha, it is eternal. It gives the features. Number 1, it is Nityaha, eternal. Number 2, it is Satyaha. It exists independently. And number 3, it is Sarvagataha, pervades everywhere. Number 4, Aprameyaha. It is always a subject, the experiencer, and not the object. Number 5, Akarta and Abhokta. Karta means doer. Akarta means never performs an action, non-doer. Bhokta is one who is enjoyed. It's not an enjoyer either. So it has no punyam or papam or anything of that kind. It has no action. And number 6, Nirvikaraha, immutable. It cannot be changed or destroyed. To take, for example, out of the 5 elements, the air. It is there existing eternally. Since the times we know, since the time we are born, we keep on breathing. It exists independently. Whether there is anything else or not, air is there. And it is pervading everywhere. Even in corners, it goes inside. So you see, some of them are really applicable when you see it. Even though you have not seen it, you know it exists. But arguments are always arguments, and one can argue that since I haven't seen it, there is no such thing called Atma. Because nobody has seen it. So, Krishna is adopting a strategy and he is presenting a different viewpoint. He's adopting a multi-pronged approach. You know, we call it Samadhana Beda Danda. There's 4 stages. Sama is to discuss and present something which should be acceptable to the other party without any problem. State approach. Dhana, try to give them a gift, make them understand. Some people will say, all right, since he has given a gift in his good heart, I will accept that viewpoint. Veda is by showing differences, comparisons. And finally, if nothing works, danda, beating up, by force. I remember long ago when I was in Dubai, when visiting a family, there was a kid who was about 5 years old, and he refused to drink milk in the morning. His father pleads and mother pleads. Nothing will work with him. And the father will start the Veda, just after giving him some little temptations of a chocolate or something like that, it doesn't work. He'll show the difference. He says, hey, next door, Vinayak, your friend, he drinks milk and he's very strong. And he says, Vinayak is not my friend. I don't like him. So finally, the father and son go inside the room, lock it up, and you'll hear from outside a lot of sound, ooh, and all that. After 5 minutes, both of them emerge smilingly. The glass of milk is already consumed, and it is done. So I used to remember the Samadhana Vedadanda approach. That little boy is now a PhD in the USA. So here, Krishna is adopting a strategic approach, and it is something beautiful we should learn. How he goes on adopting this approach after telling him the philosophy. Many people don't digest philosophy, therefore, he goes on the ethical approach also. So we'll start with the overview of session 9 today, where we continue to learn from verse 226. And Krishna explains here why Arjuna should not lament and grieve. So this approach is changing now. And Arjuna is listening very patiently to Krishna's argument. That's something we should know. So let's go to verse 26. Athachainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mritam tatapi tvam mahabaho naivam shotitumarhasi. Athachainam. It's a sandhi. Ata cha enam. Ata here is even. If this yenam is this, referring to the soul, nitya jatam. Nitya is eternal or forever. Jatam is born. Jata karmana, we have a function for naming a child. Nityam va, or forever. Manyase mritam. Mritam, mrityu is a god of death, Yama. Mritam is dead, or forever you think is dead. Tatapi, tata api. Even then, tvam mahabaho. Tvam is referring to Arjuna. Mahabaho, the mighty armed one. Baho is referring to arms, and Maha is big, mighty armed one. There are a lot of adjectives, I mentioned before, when addressing somebody, they call him by the qualities. So Arjuna, the mighty armed one. Naivam, na evam. Never about. Sotitu arhasi. Sochitum plus arhasi. It's a sandhi here. Deserve to lament or grieve. The gist of it is, even if you think of it as the soul as being constantly dying and then getting born again and again, even then, O mighty arm, you should not lament. We see people born every day and dying every day too. So it is a law of nature. Once you are born, it is definite that there will also be a day of end. In Bhaja Govindam, Adi Shankaracharya says, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Again and again, the cycle repeats. So, considering that, you should not lament. So, he's trying a different approach. And now he says that why are you getting worried and why are you in sorrow? Because it's natural. Continuing further, in verse 27, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmat pariharche attena tvam sochitum arhasi. Jatasya, from the root jana, jata comes to be born. He, because dhruvam means sure, certainty, a fact. Dhruvo is certain. What is certain? Birth is certain, a fact. Mrityur dhruvam. Death is also equally sure, certain. Janma mritusya cha, birth and death. Therefore, tasmat apariharye, unavoidable, arthe, facts in this matter, na tvam shochitum marhasi. You do not deserve to lament or grieve about it. Death is certain for the born. The moment something is born, death is also sure. And certain is a birth for the dead, as we believe in rebirths. Therefore, you should not grieve over the inevitable. No one can escape it. This very important line you have here. Tasmat. Therefore, apariharye, unavoidable. Natvam sochitum arhasi. Lesson from this: accept what is unavoidable, accept what is choiceless, where there is no option, and accept it with maturity, without complaint, without getting irritated, without getting angry at the whole world. Imagine how many such instances we see in life. As you are going to work in the morning, you are dressed up and the child comes and spills a cup of coffee on you. First reaction will be you will get mad at the child. What have you done? I'm getting to office and you have done this. Sometimes the child may even get a thrashing. But here is where I think we have to learn, we have to act with maturity. Not that we are encouraging the child, but accept the coffee is already spilled. What are you going to do about it? Clean it up. Tell the child, this is not good. You know, daddy is just going to work and he can't go with his coffee on his shirt. Next time, be careful, my child. A soft approach. Very few do that. So in life, you find there are many such choiceless situations when you don't have a choice. For example, did you have a choice of your parentage to whom you will be born? You were born, that's it, right? Did you have a choice about the date of birth? Well, did you have a choice about the place of birth? None of them you had a choice. So you find there are many such choiceless situations where you have to accept. Train gets delayed, plane gets delayed, weather is too bad, you can't do what you planned. It is said that majority of the decision we have no choice but to accept. So Gita teaches us accept what is unavoidable, where you don't have an option, where you don't have a choice. Accept those. This is the lesson from this one particular verse we have, 27. The most important, to accept what is choiceless. Hey Arjuna, na sochitum arhasi. Therefore, you should take action with maturity. Is the lesson carried out by this single verse, and it's a very important verse in this. Going further, verse number 28. Avyaktani avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktanidananenyeva tatra ka paridevana. Avyakta dini. The word avyaktam, vyaktam comes from the root V plus ansh. Root vyakta is to manifest, to appear. And avyakta, as you know, is opposite. Avyakta adini. Avyakta plus adini. That's a sandhi there. Avyakta adini. Avyakta is unmanifested. Adi. Adi Shankara. You said no? Adini. In the beginning. In the beginning. Unmanifested in the beginning. Bhutani. All that are created, all living beings, all that are created. Vyakta madhyani. Vyakta, I told you, madhyani is in the middle. Manifested in the middle. Bharata is addressing Arjuna, O Arjuna. Avyakta nidanyeva. Avyakta plus nidanani plus yeva. Split it up. The unmanifested, when destroyed. Nidanani means to destroy, when annihilated. Eva, like that. Tatra, therefore. Ka, why? Paridevana, lament or grieve. All beings were unmanifested. There was nothing. The Big Bang theory are unmanifested in the beginning, manifested in the middle state, appear as living beings, O Arjuna, and then eventually they get annihilated and unmanifested again in the end. So this is a cycle which is appearing right from the start to the end. From Adam to the end. So what is there to worry about? What is there to grieve about? Is a question Krishna is asking here. No, it might appear to be a little too hard to digest, but Gita is all about making you think. Knowing about yourself is one. You can know about yourself, you like this, you don't like that, and you know many things about yourself. But knowing yourself is something different. That is what Gita is teaching here. It makes you think. It makes you to take decision with maturity and to realize yourself. So freedom from sorrow is possible only if you understand that. So he's persuading Arjuna, but nothing existed before. They came in the middle and then they got unmanifested. So this is something which is happening right through. So what is there to grieve about? Going further, verse 29. Ascharyavat paschati kaschid enam ascharyavat vadati tataiva cha anyaha ascharyavatchaina manyaha shrunoti srutvapyenam vedana chaiva kaschit. Ascharya, many of you know. Ascharya is what? Wonder, amazing. It's a very common word in many Indian languages. In Marathi also we have this. Hindi also we have Ascharya. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschit yenam. Some see this as amazing, a wonder. Pashyati sees. Kaschit is someone. What? Yenam. Yenam means this soul, this Atma. Ascharyavat vadati tataiva cha anyaha. Tata cha kaschit anyaha. Ascharyavat eva vadati. When you split it up, Sanskrit becomes very simple, you know. Even though together they look complicated, but you split it up into small words, it's beautiful. Tata cha kaschit anyaha ascharyavat eva vadati. Also, some others speak of it as amazing. They not only see it, but they also speak of it as amazing. Ascharya vachanyaha vachanaha. Shrunoti, ascharya vachanya manna shrunoti. Shrunoti is to hear it. Yet another hear it as amazing, as wondrous. Srutvapyenam vedana chaiva kaschite. This is the highlight of this, the last one. Srutva apicha, even after hearing of it, kaschit yenam na veda eva. No one understood it. You all look at it with wide eyes. It's something we talk about, that Atma is eternal, it's indestructible, immutable, and it's pervading everywhere, all that. So we all hear about it as something amazing. How can such thing exist? Even after hearing all this, no one understood it. I think this is really the top of the philosophy, that Krishna is saying that even after hearing all this, you still may not understand what it is. And it is true. Very few people understand it as something great. Now, those of you who are management students or who have studied management would have probably heard about a theory called Maslow's theory of hierarchy. Now, Maslow, he said, every person is driven by a certain motive to live. So it's like a pyramid, and the bottom rung of the pyramid is the basic needs. A man likes to have food, clothing, all that basic needs driven by that. To get that, even a beggar likes to have food, therefore he begs. He's driven by the need to keep himself alive. But once you get that, then it ascends to other needs, like social needs, recognition, and it climbs up. And the top of the pyramid is what is called self-attainment, self-satisfaction. Atma Santushti, as they call it in Sanskrit. That is self-realization, the top rung of the pyramid. So even in scientific terms, the needs go up and taper into something called Atma Santushti. This is what is Atma, which is the ultimate, the attainment of realizing oneself. That is the most difficult thing. And this is what Krishna explains here. One thinks it's a wonderful thing, amazing, but we still don't understand it. What really drives me to ultimate satisfaction? I want to tell you a small story here that a person saw suddenly God appearing before him with a box. And God said, it is time for you to come with me. So this person says, well, no, I want to live for some more time on the earth. He says, no, it is time. Come along. Then he says, what is this box you are carrying? Does it carry my wealth and my belongings? He says, no. Does it carry my family? No. What about my Mercedes? It is still there? No, nothing. Open the box, let's see. Open the box, there's nothing in it. You mean there's nothing in the box? I carry nothing. And God says, yes, you carry nothing with you. Then why are you bringing this box which is empty? And God says, to show you people that you carry nothing with you when you come into me. So this is something wonderful. And I'll tell you more about it as we go. Verse 30. With this, verse 30, Krishna really concludes the philosophical part of his explanation, then changes gear into another viewpoint. Dehi nittam avodhyayam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. Dehi, deham, is body. Dehi is what is inside the body or enshrined in the body. Nityam is permanent. Abadhyaha comes from the root vad, to kill, and abad is opposite. Cannot be killed. I am this dehe, body. Sarvasya, everyone. Bharata, O Arjuna, who comes from the lineage of Bharata. Tasmat, therefore. Sarvani bhutani, all beings. Na tvam sochitum arhasi. You should not grieve. The indweller in the body of everyone, this soul, is eternally indestructible. It cannot be killed, O Arjuna. Therefore, you should not grieve for all beings. The final point that Krishna makes in the philosophy part. Some may believe in it and some may not believe in it. About what is wonderful, I recall an incident from Mahabharatam. It's called Yaksha Prasnam. Dharmaputra and his brothers were living incognito last year, and Dharmaputra was feeling very thirsty. He wanted to drink some water. So he sends Bhima, go and bring some water. Bhima doesn't come back, and he sends one by one all the brothers, and none of them return. And ultimately, Dharmaputra himself goes, he finds there is a pond of water, but his brothers are missing. So he wants to take water first. When he touches the water, there is a yaksha, the deity of the particular pond says, Dharmaputra, stop, you can't drink. Your brothers drank this and they all got killed. Why? Because they were not able to answer my questions correctly. So if you answer all my questions, you can survive and also have my water. So there is a series of questions asked by Yaksha, and Dharmaputra answers all of them correctly. And one question I want to recall in this instance, when it say wonderful, what is surprising? Yaksha asks, what is most surprising in this world, Dharmaputra? And Dharmaputra answers, every day we see other people dying, and yet people believe they are going to remain permanently and then start amassing wealth, amassing many things. You see what is happening in India and other countries. Crores and crores of money being collected, stored in homes, stored in boxes. What for? They are not going to carry even one currency note to the next world. But still people believe that they are going to live forever. Therefore, come on, collect it, amass it, and keep it somewhere. They have unearthed crores and crores of rupees. See that? Isn't it wonderful? That is what Ascharyavat is being talked about. And there are many such instances to tell you about this philosophy in different ways by way of stories. That is why Puranas are there to illustrate many points. So with this 30 verse, Krishna concludes the philosophical part and then shifts gear into the new viewpoint, starting from verse 31, where he goes on talking about his ethical duty or dharmic duty, what he should do in conformity with his own dharma. Swadharmam apichaveksha na vikampitum arhasi dharmayadi yatnyuddhachreyo nyat kshatriyascha na vidyate. Swadharmam. Dharmam is dharma. Swadharmam is one's own personal code of conduct. So what is the difference between dharma and swadharma? Dharma is classified into two major categories. The first one is what is applicable to everybody, irrespective of caste, creed, or sex, nationality, is what is called samanya dharma, applicable to everyone, every living being. Yamaha, niyamaha, general principles of living, 10 basic qualities. It's called Dasha Samanya Dharma, which includes ahimsa, non-violence, aparigraham, not to be greedy, don't take away everything for yourself, selfishness, what is being exhibited in many countries. Asteyam, don't steal somebody else's property, others' money. Brahmacharyam, be faithful, chastity. Satyam, truth. Santosham, to maintain contentment with no jealousy, no comparison. Don't compare yourself with neighbors. Keeping up with the Joneses, as they call in English. Tapaha, to have self-discipline by yourself. Niyamam, get up a particular time in the morning, do your work, what ought to be done, and maintaining in general a disciplined way of life. Be punctual. Swadhyayaha. Adhyapanam is learning. Swadhyayaha, self-study. Study some scriptures, study some good things, read some good stuff, because they influence your mind. And finally, Ishva Pranidhanam, surrender yourself. You do everything, but still sometimes things don't work the way you are planned. So you surrender yourself, Ishva Pranidhanam. So these are applicable to everybody. It is not only confined to Hindus or Christians or anybody, but it is applicable to everybody. You can be a man or a woman, still applicable. That's one part. The second category is Swadharma or Vishesha Dharma, one which is applicable depending on who you are, whether you are a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya, or you are a man or a woman. There are many such rules laid down by the Shastras depending on a person. There are some innate strength, something which is applicable to everybody. Not everybody can go and fight in the war. Not everybody can study the scriptures. Not everybody can play football. So here, Krishna reminds about